So the one thing I talk about a lot on this channel is the amazing culture that Zac Taylor created when he joined the Cincinnati Bengals. And how he fixed a lot of problems that we saw with Marvin Lewis and other coaches in Bengals history, right? Now, TJ Houshmandzadeh, who was our, what was he, he wasn't undrafted. He was our 7th round draft pick in 2001. He came out and talked about the whole situation and how bad the culture was in Cincinnati. And a lot of the reasons why you might lose is your culture. Because how Zach keeps all culture right now in Cincinnati, it is a tight-knit group. Everyone is responsible for everything they do. Everyone works together. Everyone is, an actual team. It's not just me. It is an absolute unit. And that's how you have to be a successful team. A lot of people over the years, myself included, we made fun of the Patriot in the Patriot way, the no fun way, right? But at the end of the day, they won a lot of Super Bowls. And the reason why is because they kept a very precise culture of no bull crap, nothing bad. We're just going to get to work our butts off, and play at a high level. That's how they played. That's how they did it. And it wasn't the most fun for players, but they won. And that's kind of what, not to the same extent like the Patriot way, because I think to a certain extent that's like almost like a prison. But with this system, Zach creates it. The players can still be the players. The players can still have fun. They can still do what they want, but they are held to a higher standard. And that's what really means everything when it comes to this. And this is what leads to the potential of us winning a Super Bowl. So here's what TJ Houshmandzadeh had to say. He said, "You really want to delve into why we weren't good," Houshmandzadeh said during a recent appearance on the NFL Players Second Act podcast via Bengals Wire. It's the off the field. It's a lack of discipline. And that's actually a great point to bring up. That's what Zac Taylor creates. Discipline. And that's why, again, I don't like him as an offense coordinator. I think Zach is a mid-tier offense coordinator. He's not really that good. But he is one hell. And I don't cuss on the channel much. He is one hell of a good coach. It's the complete lack of structure of the guys on the team. We did what we wanted to do. When I first got to Cincinnati, we didn't even stay in hotels for games. Which, is that? Well, hotels. We didn't even stay in hotels for home games. Is that like? I thought that was like normal though. Like for away games, you stay in hotels, right? That was kind of just how it works because you're on the road. You don't have a place to stay. But when you're in home games, I thought you could kind of technically go home to your house and just drive to the stadium every day. I don't know. Again, like I said, I've never been an NFL player, but I kind of thought that was the system. But it also kind of does make sense because even when you're in home games, you want the players at a hotel because you can control a couple of things. One, when they go to sleep, you can control when they wake up. You can control them going to practice, make sure they're not doing anything, malicious, make sure they're not doing anything crazy. And you kind of you have them on this schedule of, okay, wake, sleep, work, grind, eat, poop, go to sleep. You have like that mentality. You can keep them on a structured schedule so that they're not doing any other things that could harm them or cause problems off the field. But again, like I said, I feel like some players, I don't know, because I've heard over the years, players like on home games, players driving to the game in their own personal car. I guess they could be just driving from the hotel. Okay, maybe that's not that. Yeah, okay. I always thought, like, maybe not all the players, but I thought some players did. But it also does make sense, because some players, they might not have a house in the city. So, if, like, for example, you have a home game, just because a player gets drafted somewhere or signed somewhere, doesn't mean they always, uplift their life and move to that certain city. Sometimes they do if they have a family, but not always. So sometimes you might not have a house. And especially if you're not like a star, if you're a practice squad guy, you might not be able to buy a house in a certain city. So you need a hotel. But then that also begs the question, back then, because this was back in 2001, how did some of these players like actually survive then? Because money wasn't like it is nowadays back in the old days. And if you're a really bad player, I don't know. That's a very interesting, conversation. Now I have more questions than answers. The information isn't surprising given the Bengals struggled during a point in time, but it's still jarring to hear. Yeah, I mean, overall wise, this is kind of something that we talk about a lot with the Cleveland Brownies, is they're like over the years, and they've gotten a lot better with it now with Kevin Stefanski and Jim Schwartz and all the other guys they added. But like even recent memory, think about Freddie Kitchens. Freddie Kitchens was a joke. Like Freddie Kitchens, Baker Mayfield could tell him to go like F off pretty much, and Freddie Kitchens would listen. And that's something that you can't have. You can't have your players not respecting your coach. You can't have your players, just kind of being wild and doing what they want. You need them to respect your coach, respect your team. And, it's a mentality of the culture you build off the field is the culture you see on the field. So, very interesting. And again, like I said, I'm really not surprised by this whole situation. We definitely struggled a lot during that time. And I think a lot of it was also Marvin Lewis. Like, I love Marvin Lewis personally. And I honor him a lot for what he has done for Cincinnati when it comes to certain, accomplishments. But he wasn't really that much of a disciplined coach, because players could kind of do what they wanted. I mean, the age-old Chad Johnson living at the stadium. And eventually, Mike Brown had to talk to Marvin Lewis and tell him, hey, man, you got to tell the guy to go get his own place. That situation is funny, but I feel like any other team, that would never have happened, I feel like. With a lot of other coaches, that would not have happened. A player living at the facility. You would have nipped that in the butt right away. But it is what it is. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.